Hello. I decided I wanted to do some Throwback Thursday videos. I don't think I'll be able to do them every Thursday, but maybe I can find enough topics to do them at least, say, once a month. Today's Throwback Thursday takes us back to when I got my first job at 16. Like many teenagers, my first job was at a movie theater. But this wasn't just any movie theater. This was the Cooper Cinerama Theater in Denver, and it was billed as the Theater of Tomorrow. It was designed by architect Richard Crowther, who designed a lot of mid-century modern buildings in Denver. The design of the theater was so successful, it was copied for the Cooper Cinerama Theater in St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, and the Indian Hills Cinerama Theater in Omaha, Nebraska. The three theaters were called the Golden Triangle. The Cooper in Denver was opened in 1961. It had a curved screen, was 20,000 square feet, had 814 seats, 150 of which were in the balcony. Also unique to the Cooper was a glass soundproof room where parents with crying children could take the child. Sound from the movie was piped into speakers in the room, and since it was made entirely of glass, the parents could still enjoy the movie. When I was working the concession stand, at first I loved the fact that I could hear the movie while it was playing, but after a movie has played for a couple of weeks, you kind of get tired of hearing that audio all the time. We got to the point where we would start acting out the movie when there weren't any customers in the lobby. Cinerama theaters had spectacular curtain openings and 15-minute intermissions. There were no trailers, cartoons, or short subject films. These aren't like the movies we're seeing today. This was an entire production. You didn't go in for an hour and a half. You were there for a very long time. And very briefly, Cinerama movies originally involved filming the movie using three 35mm cameras and then projecting them on the screen using three projection booths. We are now used to one projection booth that is up behind the patrons who are sitting in the audience, but this had three booths, one to each side and one behind. The screen was made of hundreds of individual vertical strips of standard perforated screen material, and each strip was angled to face the audience. Not that many movies were made using this process because the cost of creating theaters to show them was exorbitant. I believe the cost of the Cooper Theater was well over $1 million. Eventually, all the Cinerama theaters switched to using a 70mm camera and a single screen. All of the movies shown at the Cooper when I worked there were first-run movies, and they included souvenir program books that patrons could purchase. The first time I went to the Cooper was a family outing to see Ben-Hur. I recall that we bought the program book, but it's since disappeared. I'd still love to have that book. The Cooper was also a location that hosted some movie premieres, and the cast of the movie would make an appearance at the theater. Being chosen to work on the night of a premiere was a really big deal. I was chosen to work the premiere of Bless the Beast and the Children. It was a Stanley Kramer movie released in 1971. It's about a group of 6 boys whose parents had sent them to a summer camp. The group is shunned by the rest of the campers because they are misfits. While they're on a camp excursion, they discover that corralled buffalo are being shot, supposedly in an attempt to curb the population. They're all disturbed by the sight, and they decide they are going to save the remaining herd of buffalo. Now, I'm going to share with you the movie trailer that was made to promote the movie. Although the movie was rated PG, it does have some sensitive material, and I'm going to try and blur that out. But I did want to give you a content warning.
Your gun club is condemning this movie?
We are condemning this movie, Bless the Beasts and Children, because it is a vicious attack upon the hunters of America. The gun buffs who will not be held up to ridicule.
Do you feel...
Believe me.
You feel this film will offend the rifle people?
I do. Just because we like to shoot a few buffalo now and then.
Wouldn't slaughter be a better word?
This is Bill Mooney, one of the stars of Bless the Beasts and Children. Is this film based on fact?
Well,
Listen, right now in Arizona, for $40, you can have the thrill of ripping off an American buffalo. We show this in the film. man. They don't have a chance.
I thought the buffalo were an endangered species.
Well, they're sort of endangered. These bleeding hearts are the idea that shooting a game animal is like shooting something that thinks and feels. We call this the Bambi syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, the ecology freaks would probably go for it, but I wouldn't let my kids see Bless the Beasts and Children, not unless I wanted them to grow up hating guns.
The cast included Bill Mumy, Daryl Glazer, Barry Robbins, Miles Chapin, Bob Kramer, and Mark Bahanian. The cast didn't come into the theater until the movie was nearly over. They were placed at long tables in the lobby to be there when the moviegoers got out and to sign autographs. While they're waiting for the movie to end and patrons to come out, the staff would bring them soft drinks and snacks, and we got to chat and get to know them. All the cast members were great to the staff. I was a bit of a fan geek talking to Bill Mumy since he had achieved fame being on Lost in Space. I loved that show. But spoiler alert, he wasn't the one who kissed me. After the patrons had left and the theater was closed, the cast remained for about another hour, waiting for everything to be wrapped up and for their transportation to arrive. During that time, the staff was allowed to hang out with them and chat, and I thought that was really nice of them. Most of the cast was around my age. I think Barry Robbins was about 10 years older than the others. And despite my fan geeking on Bill Mumy, I spent most of my time talking to Miles Chapin. I thought he was intelligent, funny, and really sweet. And yes, as he was leaving, he gave me a kiss. Well, okay, he kissed me on the cheek, but I can still claim that I was kissed by a child star. Miles Chapin was a descendant of Harry Steinway, the founder of Steinway and Sons piano fame, and he's made a lot more movies, and he's since published a couple of books, and I believe now he's working as a consultant with the Steinway family business. And that was our Throwback Thursday, back to 1971 at the Cooper Cinerama Theater in Denver. I hope you enjoyed this story. Thanks for watching.